isn't the third moon from Jupiter.
Bajo!
Red!
Hi, I'm Jem. I took your old job.
Well, nice to meet you, Jem. I know what's happened. Once again, Darren has messed with my navigational computer. Classic Darren.
Well, lucky thing you're just in time to help us host the show this week.
Oh, that sounds great, and I think I remember how this works. Hi, and welcome to Good Game Spawn Point. Coming up on the show, it's a total wreckathon in our review of Onrush. Plus, shopkeeping by day, dungeon crawling by night in Moonlighter. And we'll meet some young gamers of Australia.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Come on, let me show you the new den of gaming. You're gonna love it.
Okay, I do love it. Whoa.
Oh, it's so cool to see you, Bajo. You have to tell me everything about space. What was it like? Did you meet any aliens? Can you actually smell the stench of the noob cup from way up there?
I'd love to answer all of those questions, but right now, I'm a bit stuck. I need some help.
Okay, don't worry, we'll get you out.
Pull!
Run the Onrush montage!
Developed by Codemasters, Onrush is an arcade-style vehicular combat game.
Oh, how long have you been in that?
Teams of 6 go head-to-head to see who can deal the most damage and look cool doing it. This is a very different type of racing game. In fact, I hesitate to call it a racing game, Jem.
Yeah, a lot of races require you to get to a finish line, hopefully without crashing, brag about it, wash, rinse and repeat. But in Onrush, there is no finishing line. Instead, you have to earn your sweet bragging rights by crushing the opposition. Quite literally, in fact.
Yeah, it's a bit like Dodgem Cars meets a multiplayer shooter. Each car even has their own intro.
Interceptor.
For when you need to be downright offensive.
So cool. There are 8 different vehicle classes to choose from, and each have their own abilities and bonuses to give you that winning edge.
To keep ahead of the enemy, you and your team have to work together to earn boost. The more boost you burn, the faster you'll go, the more damaging your attacks are, and the faster you fill up your rush, granting you the ultimate speed boost. So I really like that the overall focus of each ability was to help the team succeed, not just the individual player. For instance, the Dynamo drops boost pickups for your team, while at the same time, being near teammates charges your rush, which in turn helps charge theirs. Oh, it's like a well-oiled machine of destruction.
Yes, and destruction is the name of the game. There are 4 different game modes to compete in, and all of them will see you balancing out defensive and offensive maneuvers while trying to keep a finger firmly on that accelerator. Overdrive is the most simple of the 4. In this, you help your team earn the most points by boosting, rushing, and taking down as many fodder cars and members of the other team as possible. Jem, after playing so many racing games where your main objective is to not crash, letting loose and slamming into everyone in my path took some getting used to, but I think it works.
I think it totally works. Landing a solid takedown feels so satisfying, and getting to watch your victory played back in slow motion is the icing on top of the cake.
Takedown.
But sometimes brains over brawn is the best approach. Particularly in Countdown, where you have to balance out earning points with earning your team more time to stay in the race. These matches are always fast-paced, intense, and a constant race against the clock. Getting knocked out in these rounds is particularly devastating, because even though you can rejoin, you have to wait 5 seconds, which can be the difference between a win and a loss in such a time-sensitive challenge.
That does give you time to change up your vehicle, though, which can be really helpful if things aren't working out for you. I did that a lot in Lockdown, which is a sort of King of the Hill mode. You and your team have to chase a moving zone that, once you claim it, you have to defend from the other team. After 5 seconds, the team with the most amount of members in the zone wins, and the zone respawns further down the track.
I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. I found once I was in the zone, it would be moving way too slowly and I'd have to slow down to stay with it, which seems to go against all the high rush intensity Onrush sets you up for.
Yeah, it's definitely less in your face than the other modes, but it does encourage you to think strategically.
Ah, Bajo!
Darren, is that you? You've gone all digital.
It's 2018, Bajo. Gotta get with the times. Oh, now, as for lockdown mode, I've got a tip. I would go in with a bike to gain the initial claim, and then come up from behind with the Titan or Enforcer to knock out the other team before they can go in for the steal.
Oh, that is a good tip, Darren, even though I totally didn't ask for a tip.
Oh, you're welcome, Bajo. See you at the Spawn Point Dance.
Bye, mate. See ya.
My favourite mode, though, has to be Switch. Everyone starts out on bikes, nimble but fragile, and with every wipeout you upgrade to a more durable vehicle until you reach the final 2 vehicles. It then becomes a vicious game of last man standing as you pick off the remaining contestants. I really enjoyed how varied the gameplay felt here because you're constantly shifting between playing it safe and going on the offensive. It also taught me some powerful lessons on the importance of not sacrificing safety for showing off.
Yes, I probably could have done without seeing my own spectacular fails again and again.
Final thoughts, Bajo?
Well, it does take a long time to get into this game, and I'm not sure if it's a must-play, but I love that developer Codemasters have come up with something really fresh for the racing genre. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Onrush doesn't take itself too seriously, like a lot of other racing games tend to do, which has opened the door for some truly hilarious fun. It's wild, it's wacky, it's total mayhem, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens. All right, we're slowly recovering from last week's wave of exciting E3 news, but as the old saying goes, time, tide, and gaming news stop for no one. The scoop must go on. First up, Minecraft's story mode will be coming to media streaming platform Netflix. Taking the form of a 5-episode series, it's said to be an adaptation of the original Telltale game and is described as an interactive narrative storytelling experience. It's part of a deal between Telltale Games and Netflix, as well as a broader move towards more interactivity for some Netflix titles. Whether or not this will be extended to the Australian version of the platform is to be confirmed. Next up, is Xbox's next console coming in 2020? A report from the tech site Thorot.com has revealed that Microsoft is working on a project codenamed Scarlet, involving a family of devices. Microsoft did confirm at E3 that it's currently working on its next console, but the potential of multiple devices could be interesting. And anything with a codename is intriguing, right? So secret agenty. In other news, data scientists have found that Wario is apparently the best character in Mario Kart 8. Using a concept called the Pareto efficiency, the scientists graphed each of the character's stats, balanced with different vehicle combinations. Wario featured in 11 out of 15 best configurations, while Donkey Kong came in second. The worst characters to come out of this rigorous data analysis were Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach. I guess Wario's catchphrase, "I'm a Wario, I'm gonna win," might actually have some science to it. Now it's time for the extra scoop. Car enthusiasts from a site called AutoWise have created a space shooter in which you actually play as the car Elon Musk launched into space earlier this year. You'll make your way through space dodging satellites and asteroids until you face the final boss, Elon Musk's billionaire business rival Jeff Bezos. Watch out for his deadly Amazon drones. If you've come across something you think would make a good extra scoop, send it to us here. There's one little scoop, bring them in. We love scoops. Little scoop.
Hi, I'm Serafina.
Hi, I'm Willow.
And this is our Game of Life. I live in Sydney with my mum and my brother and my cat.
I live in Melbourne with my mum, my brother, and my cat too.
We were friends ever since my 2nd birthday, I'm pretty sure. So that would be 9 years around. Hi, Willow.
Oh, hi, Serafina. I used to live in Sydney too, but then we ended up moving to Melbourne 4 years ago.
We sort of stayed friends over Roblox, which is currently the only game that allows us overseas to different states or wherever, like to play the same game. I'm going to make a banana cake, because bananas...
I'm gonna make a vanilla cake with vanilla icing and sprinkles.
We play Roblox after school, like every week.
We like play Royal High,
Baker's Valley, speed runs, Meep City, and...
Yeah, that's really it. Baker's Valley is a really fun one because you get to make cakes.
Actually, I'm gonna see if I can put a large cake on a square cake.
No, you can't. You can only put a small cake on a square cake.
Meep City and Royal High are both role play.
That means
We like the role playing for the drama and the action. So go to the land shack and you can see it from there. And I'm just going to walk in.
Don't walk in my house.
Haha, too bad.
Normally we talk about how we're feeling and school sometimes.
Embarrassing
And we talk about
things.
the game.
If it's an obby and one of us is behind, we're always like, I can't do this. And the other one's like, oh yeah, you can totally do it. If I got past it, you can do it. And then role plays, we're just talking to each other. Random stuff that pops into our head mainly. Gravity did not work. The sprinkles still went in midair. How does that even make sense? We each have our specialties in different things.
Seraphina's the better typer out of us.
I'm really fast at it, like dinosaur. And she's just got better at like particular knowledge of things. She's faster in most games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love doing saxophone and piano.
I love doing guitar. That's one of my main hobbies.
If I could be any video game character, it would probably be like Yoshi or Kirby or something because they're both really cute and I like cute things.
If I could be any video game character, I would like to be Kirby or Hermione Granger.
I know millions of Harry Potter spells. I don't think our cats talk over FaceTime because they're cats and they probably don't realize that they're actually talking to another cat.
If our cats ever played a video game, I think it would be Cat Sims too.
Yeah, because you can like turn into a giant tiger or like cat with wings or whatever. I think they'd like to do that.
We really like video games because we connect, even if I'm in Singapore with my dad.
Not even to mention that it allows you to do things that you could definitely not do in real life.
Yeah.
Turn into a wolf and gallop around like a
fly.
horse.
Welcome back to the Ask SP desk, Bajo Majojo. How does it feel?
Oh, feels good, Rad. Oh, hello, old friend. Hello, old friend phone. Hello, old dial tone friend. So many old friends, Rad. Oh, I like this blue background too. It really brings out the blue in my eyes, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, it does. So many vibrant shades. Now, let's get cracking with this video question from Luke and Darby. Go over there.
Hi, Good Game Spawn Point. We've got 3 questions for you. 1. Who brainwashes Mari in Splatoon 2? 2. What's the most powerful arm in ARMS? 3. How do you get to the wedding in the Moon Kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey? Thanks, guys. Peace out.
Thanks for your video, Luke and Darby. Before we get stuck into your first question about who brainwashes Mari in Splatoon 2, I think we should give a teeny tiny spoiler alert warning.
Good point, Bajo. Okay, with possible spoilers well and truly alerted, I can reveal it is actually Callie, Mari's squiddy sister, who is in fact brainwashed in Splatoon 2 by DJ Octavio.
That's right. DJ Octavio remixes Callie's brain with the help of his diabolical hypno shades and tries to turn Callie against her own sister.
Ah, dastardly.
Indeed! Okay, end of Splatoon spoiler. I love how Callie and Mari together are calamari.
More like Coolamari.
Squiddelicious! Now, to the question of the most powerful arms in ARMS. Well, there's not really one definitive answer to this one. There's more to it than raw arm power.
I agree. There are so many different combos and special attacks to suit different situations depending on what character you're using, the style of combat you prefer, and who your opponent is.
Very true. On the one hand, heavyweight arms like, say, Megaton have high damage, but they're also slow moving, so you might like to mix and match. I really like the Slapamander personally, but that's partly because of how fun the Slippity Slap impact is. I would argue the most powerful arms are the arms that work best for you.
Oh, that's kind of sweet, isn't it? Moving along to getting to the wedding in the Moon Kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey, do you think we need a spoiler alert for this too, Bajo?
Better be safe than sorry. Super spoiler alert, please.
Cool. Okay, so the Moon Wedding. First, you'll have to work your way to the Moon Kingdom. Then, progress through the underground moon caverns until eventually you encounter Madame Brood and her golden chomp, Chain Chompykins.
who you might remember from way back in Cascade Kingdom.
That's right. A brutal battle ensues. Once you have defeated Madame Brood, you can go through to Ever After Hill. Then head on up to the chapel, walk through the hall, bash through the door, and ba-bum's your uncle, you've crashed that wedding.
All right, well, this is just as much fun as I remember, Rad. Shall we do some more questions? This one is from Awesome Ian 32 in Donald, Victoria. Are Mario games out? Please say these. Oh, swag! Whoa!
Thanks, Awesome Ian 32, and yes, Mario games are out. Lots of them, in fact.
Indeed, that's right. You've got games like Super Mario Odyssey, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, and then there's Super Mario Run on the mobile. That's just to name a few. We would be here for hours if we went through all of the Mario games that are out.
Unless you mean, are they out as in out of fashion? In which case, I don't think they're out. I think they're very much in. Now, on to one last question from Epic Noob Cup Queen in Noob Cup Land, South Australia. Do you think it smells like Noob Cups there?
I bet it does. I bet the rivers flow free with Noob Cup juice.
Get out of there! Hey GGSP, I got some questions. 1. What good RPG games are there? 2. Will there be any more Pokemon games for the 3DS? 3. Can you put Darren in his old body? If you don't, I will get my Noob Cups to attack. Thanks. Thanks, Epic Noob Cup Queen.
Oh, Rand, the threat of a noob cupping is not something like this. Now, to your first question about good RPGs. Well, some of my personal favourites are the classic Chrono Trigger, which was recently ported to PC. I also quite liked the whimsy of Ni no Kuni 2. And if you like Pokemon, you might also enjoy the Yokai Watch game.
I also really like the quirky RPGing of Undertale and the wholesome farming fun of Stardew Valley. Some other well-reviewed games with RPG elements include Golf Story, Dragon Quest, and Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and Bowser's Minions.
As to whether there'll be any more Pokemon games for the 3DS, well, at the end of last year, someone from Game Freak said that Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon would be the culmination of their work for Pokemon on the 3DS, strongly implying that it would probably be their last game for that system.
And they do seem to have shifted their focus more towards Switch titles for now. And on to your final question about whether we can put Darren in his old body.
Oh, can we call him? I think I still remember the number. 01101111112.
Hello, Darren speaking.
Hi, Darren, it's Bajo here at the Spawn Point desk. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, thanks for asking.
I've got a question for you, mate. Epic Noob Queen is wondering if we can put you back into your old body. Can we?
Well, Bajo, I can't just be put anywhere willy-nilly. I currently have no need to be back in my old row body, especially since the hand has been helping with anything I require in the non-digital world.
The hand? Who or what is the hand?
Brad, I'll let you explain. I'm about to lead an important noob-finding mission. Got to go!
Can do, Darren. Bye!
Bye.
Okay, so Bajo, the hand is this cool hand who passes us things and is just generally, like a helping hand. Let me introduce you. Hand. Hi, there you go. So the hand, Bajo, the hand.
Wow. Hello, the hand. So nice to meet you.
Yeah, you're looking very dapper in your bow tie. Did you put that on just to impress Bajo?
Oh, that's very sweet of you, the hand. You're the most well-dressed hand I've ever seen, hands down. Oh, it's gone.
Oh, well, and so too must we be gone. If you want to send us a question, we'd love it if you made a video. So send it to us here.
Well, that was great, Brad. I really have missed that special smell of the Spawn Point desk. It still smells the same.
No? What does it smell like?
Rand, I've been thinking. It's weird that video game heroes sell their loot to other shopkeepers. They could make so much more money if they opened up their own store of rare and valuable items.
Well, now you can do exactly that in Moonlighter. Moonlighter is a cool spin on the role-playing game formula. You play as Will, the young owner of a shop named Moonlighter, in a town whose fortune was founded on the mysterious dungeons that can be accessed nearby.
But the dungeons have proved dangerous, and people are now afraid to go inside them. The town is starting to wither away, so Will decides to explore the dungeons once more to sell artifacts that will keep his business afloat.
It's such a cool premise. Shopkeeper by day, dungeon crawler by night. Flipping between the dungeon and shop switches up the gameplay, meaning you'll never really be doing the same thing for too long. In the shop, you'll be setting prices and using customers' reactions to figure out how to fairly price your items. I absolutely hated any time I saw the reaction that meant, "Oh, this is a bargain." "I'm selling it for too cheap. Give it back. You can't have it."
Sorry, Red, it's theirs now, and you have to sell it because if you take too long to complete the sale, they'll walk straight out of the door. Thief!
Oh, not as bad as the actual thieves, though. Some people will come in just to try and nick your goods. You have to catch them before they get away.
Cheeky monkeys! But in order to sell anything, you first need to find it. You can pick up all manner of interesting items by defeating monsters in the ever-changing dungeons. Once your bag is full of goodies, you can use a pendant to travel safely back home to stock your shop. Brilliant!
There's 3 levels to each dungeon and a boss at the end. Defeat the boss and you unlock the next dungeon. It sounds pretty straightforward, but this game has a way of surprising and delighting you. Around every corner there's something new, a strange doorway you've never seen before, or a pool of healing waters. These new things are sprinkled through at a masterful pace, keeping you interested as you grind through those dungeons. And the mystery of the 5th never-before-opened dungeon is very enticing.
Yes, but even so, I still found it a bit grindy at times. Upgrading weapons and buying potions is very expensive. You'll need to take many trips back and forth to be able to afford the gear that will let you go deeper into the dungeons. I didn't mind needing gold, but making sure I had the right items for an upgrade was so hard. Half the time I just sold what I needed.
Well, that's why you do your upgrades before opening your shop.
Yes, but I need to sell the things to get the gold so I can do the upgrades. Oh, it's a vicious cycle. But even so, it's a cycle that I liked. It's an immensely satisfying gameplay loop. The combat is fairly simple. You mostly just spam X, but clever level and monster design keep it challenging. There's a variety of creatures to face, and each has a different attack and movement pattern. You can also use the environment to your advantage, or it can trip you up. These both change a bit as you go into different dungeons, but there are a lot of similarities.
Yeah, the biggest difference between dungeons really is the look. Old stone ruins, a poisonous forest, a sandstone lair. Changing environments is a clever way to keep you feeling like you're progressing, and they all look beautiful.
I love the art style, Rad. It's gorgeous across the board. It feels nostalgic and tactile with beautiful and creative character design. I especially like the way the gloopy gloop of the pendant portal glooped.
Oh, me too. There's just something magic about this game for me. I haven't finished it yet because I'm savoring it. I don't want it to end too quickly. Moonlighter is a great game. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Perfect score! It is a very special game, isn't it? And even though I did find it a little grindy at times, that enjoyable gameplay and those new elements that get drip-fed to you is enough to pull you through. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Thanks for joining us as a special guest this week, Bajo.
It's been awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime, Bajo. Please visit again soon.
Well, I'd love to, especially now it's not so easy for Darren to laser me anymore.
Though I can now listen to everything you say.
Sorry, Darren. Red, what's on the show next week?
Glad you asked. We'll chop to it in Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido. And we cotton onto the co-op of Unravel 2.
And of course, Goose is back to join us after his whirlwind trip to E3. Don't forget to catch up on his adventures if you missed him.
Well, make sure you give Goose a high five for me. Guys, the Nexus clusters have aligned. It's time for me to go. Until next time, Bajo out.
Bye, Bajo. Rat out. Gem out.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me. I shall return.